Vigil, Ante, and the Vigilante Antics by BelleAmant. Read by Shadow5. Chapter 43. Ingenium's Intermission. Tensei Ida is a 30-year-old man who has seen a lot in his life. He's lived a life full of excitement and terror, working as the pro-hero Ingenium. He's a man who knows how to live life on the fast lane, and one who nearly lost his career just as quickly. If your partner had been 20 seconds away, you likely would be facing permanent paralysis, the doctor explained. Luckily, you'll be able to make a full recovery, but it will take months. Months? Tensei can handle months of duty. He can barely stomach the thought that he was 20 seconds away from being off duty permanently. It didn't sit right with him. It was bizarre, like fate had planned to rip him away from his dream career and throw him to the curb. Like the only thing saving him was the most minor adjustment, but one that rippled and changed his world forever. Tensei knows that he's only able to look forward to a future because of the recent buddy system that's been implemented. All pro-heroes near Hosu were told, practically commanded, to team up with a partner. Patrol routes were analyzed and combined, so that the routes weren't even that different to what the heroes were used to.
We've been helped by a rather reliable source when it comes to these new roads,
Detective Tsukauchi explained as he handed Tensei a file.
They've noticed some patterns when it comes to Hosu and advised teaming up for patrols for the near future.
I see, Tensei said, flipping through his papers idly. The route was nearly the same as one of his old ones. Did they have access to my patrol routes when they made this?
No, just some observations,
Tsukauchi said, and Tensei laughed. That's some fine observation then. Well, there's no harm in having a teammate, Tensei declared. It was nice seeing you, Detective.
You as well. Stay safe, Ingenium.
Someone knew. Someone knew how the hero killer ticked, how he worked, how he killed. Someone knew, and someone saved his life. Tensei wishes that he could meet this person, this reliable source, who was the difference between a pause in his career and the abrupt halt of it altogether, and thank them. Maybe offer them a spot on his team. With observational skills like that, Ida 10 would be able to do more than ever before. But the chances of meeting them for the moment seem slim, so Tensei won't focus on that. He can only focus on recovery and hope that nothing bad happens in the meanwhile. Tenya goes after the hero killer, and Tensei wants to scream. His brother nearly died, and Tensei is stuck in a hospital bed. No, Tenya nearly died because Tensei is stuck in a hospital bed. Tensei doesn't know if he wants to yell at his brother for his foolishness or hold him close and sob. He doesn't get a chance to see his little brother until a few days after the incident. Tenya, at least, has the common sense to look ashamed. Tensei, Tenya starts, but Tensei cuts him off. Tenya, Tensei says, and his voice is sharp, and Tenya stiffens, but Tensei wants to scream. Tenya, what were you thinking? I wasn't, Tenya admits, and Tensei can't help the hysterical laugh that rips through his throat. You weren't? No, I figured that. Want to know why? He doesn't wait for an answer. Tenya, you attacked the hero killer. He's killed 17 heroes. Actual licensed pro-heroes. And that's not even counting how many he's wounded. Why would you go after him? Because there has to be a reason. Something more than meets the eye, right? I was angry, Tenya says, the word coming out covered in shame and regret. I wanted to get revenge because he hurt you. Being a hero isn't about revenge, Tenya, Tensei says. It's about saving others. I know, Tenya says, and his voice is a whisper when he adds. That's what Stan said too. Tensei feels something rip through him at the emotion. He doesn't focus on the feeling, doesn't bother to process what it is. He just sees his brother, his sweet little brother, who is young and angry and afraid and hurting. He sees his brother, who has lost the feeling in one of his arms and is apparently refusing to get surgery because of his guilt, from what he's heard. He sees his brother, who saw his own brother get tossed into a hospital because of a villain's warped ideologies. Tensei opens his arms, and Tenya is quick to fall into them. His shirt feels damp, but Tensei doesn't care. Tensei can't judge Tenya when he's also crying.
It's alright,
Tensei promises. I'm alright. I'm going to be a hero again before a year's up. You're learning. You're going to succeed. And when you graduate, we can work side by side. But to graduate, you have to focus on school. Not revenge, not hunting down villains. School. Tenya nods into his shoulder and pulls back. He rubs his face, the movement stiff in that Tenya way that Tensei has always loved, then nods again. They sit in silence for a while, wiping away their tears. Tensei watches his little brother, and a thought comes to mind. He was saved with the Vigilante duo, but they haven't been spotted for months. Tenya looks at him, and there must be something odd with his expression, because his little brother clears his throat and asks, Tensei, are you alright? And all Tensei can say is, it's a miracle that they found you in time. What? The Vigilante duo? They haven't been around for months. I figured they were caught up and locked away. If they had been a few seconds later. Tenya, you could have died. Tenya's face goes somber as he nods. I know. I'm lucky that they appeared when they did. He is. Tenya is only here beside him because of a few seconds. Like an error as hastily corrected. Just like Tensei. Something clicks. I need to find them, Tensei says, voice firm. I need to speak with them. Tenya's eyes shine with an emotion Tensei can't quite comprehend, and he nods. I see, Tenya says, and then he stands up. I'll see what I can do, brother. The words don't make sense, but Tensei decides that they don't have to, so he just smiles and says, Thanks. He didn't think anything would come out of the conversation, and decided that he'd find the door once he was out, and thank them. Tensei doesn't quite understand why Tenya asked to bring two of his classmates on Monday afternoon, the first day back after internships ended, but he agrees anyways. That's how he finds himself sitting in a hospital bed, with Tenya introducing his peers who stand awkwardly by his side. Or reintroducing, to be more precise. Tensei, you might remember Izuku-kun and Hitoshi-kun from the grocery store boys. Tensei interrupts, letting a smile pull up his lips. And here I thought you two could only be found in the produce section. The little green one, Tensei thinks this one is Izuku, giggles. Sometimes you can even find us in the dairy aisle. Izuku jokes. And wow, Tensei likes this one. Hitoshi looks vaguely exasperated, but that's fine, because Tenya does too. I'm glad to hear that Tenya has you two in his class, Tensei says. He was so upset when he couldn't find you guys anymore. Tensei! Tenya shouts, but Izuku just nods calmly. Yeah, our timing was awful, but now we're here, so it's all fine. Something flickers in Izuku's eyes when he says the word fine, but it's gone before Tensei can process it. That's a good view to have, little buddy. Tensei can appreciate someone who looks on the bright side. But speaking of being here, Tenya, any specific reason you wanted me to beat your butts? Not that I mind, I'm just surprised that it's right now. He had hoped that Tenya would maybe bring some of his friends over sooner, to be honest. It's nice, getting to see the details of Tenya's day. But the timing seems odd, if Tensei is being honest. Well, Tenya says slowly, eyes starting to Izuku and Hitoshi. The boys nod ever so slightly, and it's so synchronized that it's almost a little creepy. But it does not seem to help, because Tenya flashes Tensei a wry grin and continues. You did say that you wanted to meet the Vigilante duo? What? Is the genius response that Tensei comes up with. Tenya, for his part, shrugs, looking like he's also confused. Izuku-kun and Hitoshi-kun are Vigil and Ante, respectively. They're the ones who saved me from staying. Tensei looks at Tenya, really looks at him. There's nothing but sincerity in those eyes, and Tenya is an awful actor. He can't lie to save his soul. So, Tensei looks over at the boys. Their faces are blank, but if Tensei focuses on their eyes, he can see the hints of apprehension and worry that linger. So Tensei smiles and says, So, two 15-year-olds are some of the most beloved of vigilantes. Who would have thought? Raising a hand ever so slightly, Izuku says, ex-vigilantes, as well called us. Tensei frowns. You got caught facing Stain? No, we got caught back in February. Hitoshi corrects. But you saved Tenya? We had permission, Izuku says. Perhaps we should explain the whole thing? Izuku offers, and Tensei nods. I think I need to hear this, Tensei says. And so the three boys sit, and Tensei stares in silence as they explain the story. 5 years of vigilantism, living on their own, stealing money to afford food and rent. Online schooling because it was easier to work around and took less time. Getting caught in February because Eraserhead was on patrol and got lucky. getting adopted by Eraserhead. Tensei can't believe Shota's gone so soft, but he needs to see them interact now. Giving up vigilantism and going to UA to get on the right side of the law. Noticing the panels of stain and telling Tsukauchi so that something could be done. Hearing about the attack in Hoso and feeling the urge to help. Finding Tenya. Saving Tenya. Tensei is in awe as he hears it all. In a single glance at Tenya tells him that his little brother didn't have all of the details either. When the boys finish their tale, Tensei blurts out the first thing that comes to mind. I was chasing 11-year-olds around, and they were giving me more of a run for my money than most villains. Yes, Hitoshi states solemnly, and Tensei grins. Well, thank you for telling me all of this, and thank you for saving Tenya, and for saving me as well. You? Tenya asks, and Tensei nods. I had my suspicions. I only got help in time because of a recent change in patrols. The partner system is why I was found so quickly. You two made those patrol routes, didn't you? He gets two nods in return, and beams. I thought so. Thank you, boys. It's what anyone would do, Izuku says softly, and Tensei shakes his head. No, all of this is what heroes would do. If Izuku gets a little teary-eyed, or, okay, a lot teary-eyed, and Hitoshi lets out a not-so-inaudible gasp, Tensei won't tell a soul, just like he won't tell anyone that Tenya's two closest friends are also two of the most elusive vigilantes Tensei has ever met. Yeah, Tensei is a 30-year-old man who has seen a lot in his life, but he thinks that Izuku and Hitoshi take the cake. Yay, Tensei got to thank Izuku and Hitoshi. This whole chapter was so cute. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 43 of Vigil, Ante and the Vigilante Antics, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!